Again, my name is Billy Skaggs with Georgia Crop Improvement Association. We're going to give you an update on seed quality and quantity for the 2022 planting season. So we'll jump right in. Here in Georgia, now I've got some numbers from our friends in Alabama and Florida as well, but we'll start off with Georgia numbers. Last year, 2021, certified acres decreased slightly to 128,000 acres, which is still a really strong number. When we're doing our field inspections every year, the biggest issue that might lead to a rejected field is inadequate isolation. We do require an isolation distance of 4 rows or a minimum of 10 feet between certified varieties, as well as between different classes of certified seed. Our inspectors hustled last year and we finished up our inspections in September. We inspected buying points back in the fall who were receiving certified seed. Also a number of warehouse facilities that kind of come and go depending on what the needs are and the volume. And currently our inspectors are out visiting, shelling, and treating facilities, and we'll be doing more of that as more of seed companies really start ramping up production. In Georgia, I thought I'd give you a breakdown on the varieties we had last year as compared to 2020. In 2020, we had 115,000 acres of Georgia 06G. That dropped a little bit, down to about 107,000 acres. We saw Georgia 09B drop from 5,200 to about 3,300. We also saw some that increased. We had Georgia 16HO went from just under 4,000 to about 5,600. And TIF NV High Oleic went from 2,500 to about 4,000. Some varieties that we had last year for the first time or the first time in a while, AU NPL 17 out of Auburn, we had a few acres of that. And then Georgia 19 HP, a new variety, as well as 20 VHO. The folks in Alabama, Dr. Jim Bostic and his associate Brandon Dillard provided us numbers for what they had, so we thought we'd run through that as well. 06G being the majority or the biggest number, the biggest variety in their program, but they also do a good job in Alabama growing some of the, I wouldn't say minor varieties, but varieties that we don't grow as much of, 09B, 12Y, and 16HO. It's the rest of what Alabama produced last year, and they're a great partner with us. And of course, all this production starts off with Georgia Seed Development as being our foundation seed organization that supplies us to help us get started. South Carolina didn't have a lot in certified production last year. We thought we'd throw that in there just for a southeast perspective. And when I say Alabama, I will say that is Alabama and Florida. Southern Seed Certification certifies acres in Alabama and Florida. South Carolina production you see there. Also, I want to thank Dr. Jim and Brandon for putting this slide together. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. If you'd like a copy of it, I can get it for you. But this is kind of taking the total acres and sort of trying to estimate acres based on seed availability. So if you look at Georgia 06G, it's 122,000 seed acres. We estimated the farmer stock off of that at just under 550,000 tons, and that's at an average 4,500 pound yield. And from there, if you averaged 800 pounds of seed per ton, about 220 million tons. And so if you had a planting rate of 135 pounds per acre, you'd be about 1.6 million potential acres of Georgia 06G. So that's kind of where that kind of breaks it down. Some of the other varieties that we had pretty good production of course, 09B we mentioned, 12Y, 16HO, TIF NV, High Oleic. Just a couple of quick words on intellectual property protection. All the varieties that are noted today do have plant variety protection. They are protected under the PVP law. And just to reiterate, that means a farmer may save enough seed to plant his or her own holdings, but no seed of these varieties may be sold without permission from the variety owner. Georgia 18RU was released a few years ago. It is a patented variety. Seed may not be saved by the grower. And then a patent application has been filed on 20 VHOs. We expect that to be, for that variety to receive a patent as well. Overall, we expect seed quantity to be adequate for this year. Now, if you're a grower, you're looking for 16HO or 09B or 12Y, or if you have growers looking for those varieties, I would suggest trying to secure those early. We've got really good reports out of the state seed lab so far, which is located here in Tifton. Just, real quick, we're very, very fortunate to have the Tifton Seed Lab here. They do an outstanding job for us, not only here in Georgia, but they test peanut seed from all over the Southeast. So far, we're seeing almost zero, very, very little aspergillus as compared to previous years. Last year was a good year for A. flavus in terms of not seeing much of it. This year, they're seeing even less in the lab. It's pretty early. We're just really getting started, but we're feeling good about it. Quality is good to very good so far. Most of the tests are coming back in the 80s and 90s, which is great. And so overall, we believe seed quality is going to be really good for this planting season.